All right, let's bring in Michelle Malkin, the host of Michelle Malkin Investigates on CRTV.com. Michelle, you heard it there from Adam Housley. This has been going on for over a year now, yet zero reporting of this in the media. Zero.
Yeah. It's bombshell after bombshell. And as Adam tweeted last night, drip, drip, drip. And more of it's going to come out. And there's nothing that the liberal propaganda media monopoly can do to block the truth from coming out. I think the American people should be outraged not only at the substance of what Adam is reporting, that this kind of spying was going on a year ago on private citizens,
right.
And that it wasn't just the one example of quote-unquote incidental unmasking, but then more surveillance was ordered and more of this was done. How much more? And the fact that you have all of these liberal media editorial boards that are now going bananas, completely unhinged in their so-called resistance guerrilla mode, have nothing to say about these violations of privacy.
Well, because, you know, we're not all there yet. There's still some more information to come out. I mean, maybe the more specific they get, the reaction will be this, Michelle. It'll be they'll drop it. All of a sudden, Russia will be a third rail. They'll never come around if it becomes overwhelming and say, wow, we missed the story here.
Yeah, that's right. And with the fake news, with the journalists that operate by sins of commission and sins of omission, they'll just switch horses, or rather squirrels, because, of course, squirrels are what they jump onto to distract the American people from all of the important work that this White House is doing. The other thing, of course, that they do, that they always do, is when there are independent journalists who are reporting news that undermines and sabotages their narrative, what do? Attack ad hominem those journalists who are doing their jobs, and that's exactly what's happening to Adam Housley and Fox.
But here, what is extraordinary is the fact that, if true, people from Barack Obama's West Wing weaponized information from the intel community for political purposes to try to damage the opposite party. That is a gigantic story.
Of course it is, but it fits in with what we already know about that climate of corruption within the Obama White House, that they would use any agency, whether it was the IRS or whether it was internally at the White House, where they had a specific woman whose sole goal was to attack Fox News. Why wouldn't they use the CIA and every resource that they had available to obstruct and destroy their political enemies? And that's what these editorial boards should be inveighing about. Instead, you've got the LA Times, which now has this crazy 4-part series going after the Trump administration for doing everything that they promised to do for the American people. Here they are railing about Trump, you know, undermining the rule of law as they defend open borders and say nothing about these reports that are coming out now about this spying. A joke.
Yeah, Michelle, we also want to get your thoughts on this. Democrats, another big target for them, seem to be conservative women. Tina Fey was out over the weekend. Take a listen to what she said.
A lot of this election was turned by kind of white, college-educated women who now would maybe like to forget about this election and go back to watching HGTV. And I would want to urge them to, like, you can't look away, because it doesn't affect you this minute, but it's going to affect you eventually.
Michelle, you're a conservative, outspoken woman, someone who supports President Trump. How do you respond to that?
Well, Tina Fey sure shows her support for all women in very curious ways. But this has been a pathology of the left to attack conservative women, to attack women who stray from the liberal progressive plantation. And it is the most misogynist strain out there. I mean, these people object to sexism when they're the ones that will attack Kellyanne Conway for the family choices that she's made, for posing for a picture with a fur coat. Where's Tina Fey to condemn all of those crazy leftists over the weekend who were hounding Ivanka Trump's neighbors because she has different political viewpoints from them? But this is, again, this is a pathology, and I've seen it time again. I've experienced it. The dehumanization and the marginalization of women who stand up for traditional values, for national sovereignty, and for conservatism.
Well, it certainly was not the Liz Lemon that I know from the TV show. Just see
Yeah.
it.
Ivanka can't
don't know
ever
what the-
smile without getting criticized.
Proud to say.
I don't know what the HGTV was reference was about. Is that a bad network? Is that
Crazy.